They waited decades. The killers walked free, their secrets buried under years of silence. But in 2024, a silent witness finally spoke. DNA. Truth doesn't rot, it waits. Join us as we uncover 5 chilling cases where the relentless march of science shattered the darkness, bringing long-awaited justice. Forensic science just gave families something no one expected: closure. The year 2024 became a landmark, a pivotal moment when cold cases, once deemed unsolvable, cracked wide open. These aren't just statistics, they are real victims, real breakthroughs, and moments where the pursuit of justice refused to die. For years, investigators faced insurmountable odds. Limited technology, fragmented evidence, and fading memories often led to dead ends. But the dawn of advanced genetic genealogy and sophisticated DNA sequencing has rewritten the rules, transforming the impossible into the inevitable. This is the story of how silence was finally broken. The quiet night of October 20th, 1979 in San Bernardino, California, held a dark secret. Esther Gonzalez, a vibrant 20-year-old, vanished without a trace. Her body was discovered days later near desolate train tracks, a brutal end to a young life. For 45 agonizing years, her case remained a chilling enigma, with no suspects and no viable leads. Detectives pursued every avenue, but the technology of the era simply couldn't provide the answers. Esther's family endured decades of uncertainty, a wound that never healed. The case file grew thick with unanswered questions, a testament to a killer who seemed to have vanished into thin air. Then, in November 2024, a breakthrough emerged from the cold case unit. Using cutting-edge forensic genetic genealogy, a minute tissue sample preserved for nearly half a century yielded a DNA profile. This profile was then cross-referenced with public genealogy databases, leading investigators to a startling match: Vincent Harris. The twist was profound and unexpected. Harris had already died in 2007. His remains, however, held the truth his living self never confessed. The statistical probability of the match was staggering, 1 in 9.2 trillion. Justice, though delayed by decades, finally arrived, offering a measure of peace to Esther's long-suffering family. The summer of 1994 in rural Georgia was forever scarred by the disappearance of Melissa Green. After her evening shift at a local diner, the 22-year-old vanished into the night. Her car was found abandoned, but Melissa was gone, leaving behind a community gripped by fear and a family desperate for answers. For 3 decades, her fate remained unknown. The initial investigation yielded no significant clues, and the case slowly faded from public memory, though never from her family's hearts. They lived with the agonizing uncertainty, clinging to faint hopes that dwindled with each passing year. Then, in a stunning development in July 2024, a 71-year-old man named Howard Reed walked into a police station. Without prompting, he confessed to Melissa's murder. The weight of his secret, carried for 30 years, had finally become unbearable. There was no plea deal, no negotiation, just a raw, unburdened admission of guilt. Reed led detectives to a remote, overgrown area where Melissa's remains were finally recovered. Her story, tragically cut short, could at last be finished. The confession brought a harrowing end to a long nightmare, providing her family with the closure they had tirelessly sought for 3 decades. In the spring of 1997, a heartbreaking discovery was made near Garnett Lake in Michigan, the body of a newborn girl. She had no name, no identity, and no one to claim her. Investigators, deeply moved by the tragedy, named her Baby Garnett, a poignant placeholder for a life barely begun. The case was a profound mystery, a tiny victim whose origins were completely unknown. Despite extensive efforts, no parents were ever identified, and Baby Garnett's story remained untold, a silent testament to a hidden crime. Her small grave held a secret that seemed destined to remain buried forever. Until 2024, the advent of consumer genetic genealogy databases offered a new hope. An amateur genealogist, driven by a passion for solving mysteries, submitted DNA from the cold case file to a public database. The results were astonishing, revealing a distant familial match. This match led investigators to a woman who, after initial denial, admitted the truth. Baby Garnett's real identity was finally revealed: Lila Mae Thompson. Her mother, still alive, confessed to the abandonment. While no charges were filed due to the specific circumstances and passage of time, Lila Mae finally had her name back, a profound act of recognition for a life once forgotten. The brutal murder of Kathy Halley in her Illinois apartment in 1976 sent shockwaves through her community. Strangled and left for dead, her case quickly went cold, becoming another tragic statistic in the annals of unsolved crimes. For decades, her killer walked free, her memory fading from public consciousness. Kathy's family, however, never forgot. They lived with the gnawing pain of injustice, hoping against hope that one day answers would emerge. The initial investigation, hampered by limited forensic capabilities, could not identify a suspect, leaving a void that time could not fill. Then, forensic genealogy provided a chilling breakthrough. Hair follicles meticulously preserved from the crime scene were re-examined using advanced sequencing techniques. The resulting DNA profile pointed directly to a name that sent shivers down the spines of investigators: Bruce Lindell. Lindell, a known serial killer, had died in 1981, but science kept digging, linking him to Kathy's murder and shockingly to at least 9 other victims across multiple states. His reign of terror, though ended by his death, was finally fully exposed. Kathy's file, after 48 years, was finally closed, her killer identified by the silent testimony of her own DNA. In 1980, the discovery of 25-year-old Mary Tracy's body, stabbed beside a rural highway in Idaho, left investigators baffled. She was gone without a trace, her life brutally cut short, and her killer seemingly vanished into the vast, unforgiving landscape. The case quickly went cold, a haunting reminder of an unsolved crime. Mary's family endured the agonizing pain of not knowing, of a killer walking free. Despite tireless efforts by law enforcement, the limited evidence and lack of witnesses meant the case remained a frustrating mystery for over 4 decades. Hope dwindled, but never entirely extinguished. Then 2024 reopened everything. New sequencing technology, capable of extracting viable DNA from even highly degraded samples, was applied to evidence from Mary's case. The breakthrough was immediate and undeniable. The degraded DNA yielded a clear profile, which was then matched to Charles Nicholas Strain. Strain, a convicted felon, had died in 2007. His criminal record was extensive, but his connection to Mary Tracy's murder had remained buried for decades. Science, however, unearthed his secret, connecting him to the crime he thought he had gotten away with. Mary Tracy's family finally received the answers they had waited 44 years for, a testament to the enduring power of forensic science. What triggered this unprecedented wave of breakthroughs in 2024? It wasn't a single discovery, but a powerful convergence of 3 transformative forces that revolutionized cold case investigations. These advancements have turned the tide against time, making the impossible possible. First, wider access to public DNA databases became a game-changer. Millions of individuals have voluntarily submitted their DNA to commercial genealogy services. When law enforcement agencies, with proper legal protocols, cross-reference crime scene DNA with these vast databases, they can identify distant relatives of a suspect. This creates a genetic family tree, allowing investigators to narrow down potential perpetrators. Second, AI-powered relationship mapping dramatically accelerated the process. Traditional genealogical research is painstaking and time-consuming. Artificial intelligence algorithms can now analyze complex genetic relationships within these massive databases, quickly identifying familial links and constructing intricate family trees. This significantly reduces the time it takes to generate viable leads from months or years to mere weeks. Third, higher recovery rates from degraded samples proved crucial. Older crime scenes often yield only minute or highly degraded DNA. Breakthroughs in forensic techniques, including advanced extraction methods and ultra-sensitive sequencing technologies, now allow scientists to obtain usable DNA profiles from samples once considered too compromised. This means evidence from decades-old cases, previously thought useless, can now provide definitive answers. These combined innovations mean that cold cases that once took decades to even generate a lead can now crack wide open in a matter of weeks or months. The silent witnesses of the past are finally speaking, louder and clearer than ever before. For every victim a family waited, their lives suspended in a state of unresolved grief. For every killer, silence was borrowed time, a fragile illusion of freedom. In 2024, the relentless pursuit of truth, powered by scientific innovation, proved unstoppable. The echoes of the past, once faint, now resonate with the clarity of justice. The stories of Esther, Melissa, Lila Mae, Kathy, and Mary are not just tales of tragedy, but testaments to resilience, perseverance, and the unwavering belief that no crime truly goes unpunished. Their cases stand as powerful reminders that even after decades, the truth will always find a way to emerge from the shadows. Subscribe to The Cryptic Zone, where justice always finds its voice, and we delve deep into the mysteries that shape our world. Join our community of true crime enthusiasts, and tell us in the comments below, which cold case, lingering in the shadows, do you believe will be solved next by the power of DNA? Share your thoughts and become part of the conversation.